Chapter 7. The Collapse. Collapse is rarely sudden. It is incremental, a series of small fractures that accumulate until the structure can no longer bear its own weight. Alistair had always believed himself unbreakable, a man insulated by wealth, reputation, and the illusion of control. But reputations are fragile things. They crack under scrutiny, they crumble under pressure, they disintegrate under suspicion. By the third day of my disappearance, he was already beginning to crumble. I watched from the safe flat, the curtains drawn, the burner phone silent beside me. Marcus sat across from me, his laptop open, monitoring the news, the police updates, the social media chatter. The world was beginning to take notice. "Another article," Marcus said, scrolling. "This one's worse." "Read it," I said. He did. "Financier's wife missing. Police investigate inconsistencies in husband's statements." Inconsistencies. A polite word for lies. Alistair had always been a poor liar. He lied with confidence, not skill. Confidence is persuasive in business. It is damning in an investigation. The police interviewed him again that morning. He arrived at the station at 9:03 a.m., wearing a suit that looked as though it had been put on in the dark. His tie was crooked. His hair was uncombed. His eyes were bloodshot. He looked like a man who had not slept. He had not. The interview began with routine questions. Then it shifted. "Mr. Thorne," the older officer said, "we've reviewed CCTV footage from the night your wife went missing." "Yes," Alistair said. "You told us she left the house at around 10. "Yes." "But the footage shows her leaving at 10:14. Alistair blinked. I didn't check the time." "You also told us she seemed fine." "Yes. But earlier you said she seemed distant." In your first interview, you said you hadn't argued recently." "Yes." "But your housekeeper says she overheard raised voices last week." Alistair swallowed. "It wasn't an argument. What was it?" "A misunderstanding." The officer raised an eyebrow. "About what?" Alistair hesitated. Hesitation is a confession. "I don't remember," he said. The officer wrote something down. A crack widened. At noon, the police visited his office. They spoke to his employees. They spoke to the blonde woman. They asked questions. They took notes. They observed. People reveal more in silence than in speech. The blonde woman denied everything. Too quickly, too emphatically, too rehearsed. The officers noticed. They always do. By afternoon, the tabloids had escalated. Missing wife's final days. Was she trying to escape? Financial troubles in the Thorne household? Secret affair? Who is the blonde woman? The last headline included a photograph of her leaving Alistair's office, her head down, her expression tense. Not my photograph. Someone else's. Affairs are rarely discreet. At 3:42 p.m., Alistair called Daniel again. I watched the live stream from the hidden camera in the sitting room. Alistair paced back and forth, his movements frantic, his voice strained. "Daniel, please," he said. "You have to believe me. I don't know where she is." Daniel's voice was muffled through the speaker, but his tone was unmistakable. Doubt. Doubt is a seed. Once planted, it grows. "I didn't do anything," Alistair insisted. "I swear." People who swear innocence rarely are. At 5 p.m., the police returned to the house with a warrant. They searched the study, the bedroom, the kitchen, the garden, the garage. They found nothing incriminating, because I had left nothing incriminating. But they did find the financial documents I had printed and placed in the bottom drawer of my desk, highlighted, annotated, organized. The older officer held up the papers. "Did you know about these?" he asked. Alistair's face drained of color. I don't know what those are." "You didn't know your wife was reviewing your financial transfers?" "No." "You didn't know she was concerned about missing funds?" "No." "You didn't know she was preparing to speak to a solicitor?" "No." The officer wrote something down. A fissure deepened. At 7:12 p.m., the police asked him to come to the station again. He agreed. He had no choice. He arrived at 7:41 p.m., looking worse than he had that morning. His hands shook. His voice trembled. His confidence, the thing he valued most, had evaporated. The interview was longer this time, more pointed, more direct. "Mr. Thorne," the younger officer said, "your wife's digital activity suggests she was distressed." "I didn't know." "Your financial records suggest she was preparing to confront you." "I didn't know." "Your employees suggest you were spending time with a woman outside your marriage." "That's not." "Your housekeeper suggests you argued." "We didn't." "Your son suggests you were distant." Your wife suggests, the officer said, tapping the notebook page, that she couldn't do this anymore. Alistair's breath caught. He looked like a man drowning. He was. At 9:03 p.m., they released him. He walked out of the station slowly. His shoulders slumped, his steps unsteady. He looked like a man who had lost everything. He had not yet, but he would. Back at the safe flat, Marcus closed his laptop. He's falling apart, he said. Yes, you expected this? Yes, you're enjoying it? No, he raised an eyebrow. I clarified. I'm observing it. He nodded. And what comes next? Phase 4, I said. The collapse? No, I said. The exposure.